Welcome to another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. This show was originally created from the more than 300 quotes that I had created for the contents of my book. Always curious how one quote landed on another, were there words that just lay there on a page, or were there conversations to be had? We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Kevin McLemore. I'm your co-host. I am joined by Mazan. I am joined by Larnez, Dwayne, Lois, Christopher, and Gilda, Lady DP, Curtis Battles, and the voice of our show, Mr. Otis Spencer. So if you want to be a guest on this show, we put the information in the show link. So without further ado, let's get started. We have a wonderful quote. I'm so excited about this. So if you don't mind, Otis, if you don't mind giving us a quote, and we're going to lead off with DP today. Tell us a quote for this weekend.
Happy Sunday, Grand Rising, everyone. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, we all walk around and we are attached at some point to something that sticks with us, something that means something to us. Now we're going to find out how this quote landed on Miss DP. How's this quote land on you, D?
Good morning, all. Again, I'm apologize. My throat is a little sore, but I'm here. So this quote came to me because I was a soul that was always looking for direction. Somehow, always saying that I can't change the place I am, but I'm here. And I just growing up in my own interpersonal self, I always had this question with God. You know, where do I belong? Where am I going? How do I reach it? And in the present moment, I had a big shift in my life. So this quote came to me because I love the wind. I love nature. I literally said, this is God speaking to me and answering all of the words that I had when I was younger. So the shift in my life where I believe the sail, I was able to adjust my sail to my destination is that I might cry right now and I'm not going to apologize because I'm feeling it. I always wanted a child my whole life. I think since I did my communion, I told God to give me a child. I was an abused child, so I knew that love wasn't in my direction. However, today, and sadly, I do have a child under the conditions of my brother had died 7 years ago, and they left a little girl, and her mom just died a month ago, and here she is, and she had nowhere to go other than the system, and I'm her aunt. Titi is in Spanish, we say auntie, and her name is Genesis, and she's 14 years old, and I'm doing everything right now to get her to the right path, to show her love, to show her kindness, and I really believe that all these years, I'm going to be 55 in 2 weeks, and I never thought that a child would appear. I just gave up. I accepted. I guess I accepted is the word. But God had a plan. Unfortunately, that plan was to take her parents away. But my destination was that I can't say I'm a mother because I don't know what that feels like physically. But I could say I'm a mother because my heart is there. So I'm complete, and I leave you all with that you can't change that direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sail to always reach your destination. And that is mine. Thank you.
That is not only an amazing story, but when you talk about being blessed, you know, many times we bring children into the world, and sometimes we have more questions than answers. But when you choose someone to be your blood, your legacy, and whatever, that is a wonderful, wonderful gift. It comes with its own set of challenges. 14 is at that age when you start to discover yourself. So I'm going to say Find grace and patience. All right. Listen more than you talk, and be the example of what you want that child to see or be in this world. So I will give you that. Ladies and gentlemen, we never know what to expect when we put out these, when someone brings us a quote. And it's an amazing story. And it's okay to cry on this show. It's okay. I've done it before. Well, I have not done it. My eyes sweat. They don't cry. So we'll go from there. So with that said, um, Dwayne, um, we're gonna find out how this quote lands on you, young brother.
Well, good morning, everyone. So yesterday was a very special day for me. I found out last year. So this would be my first anniversary of finding out that I was misdiagnosed with a blood cancer in 2006. So for 18 years, I walked around, man, thinking that the time was I was losing time, or for me as an athlete, the time was running down. And so yesterday was just a very special day. And then here in 3 days, I'm going to actually have my birthday. And my birthday's always been extremely special. My brother's birthday is the day before mine, the 11th. And then my grandfather's birthday is the day after mine, the 13th. So we always have these like 3 days that we really just celebrate. And so I last week I wasn't here because I had the flu, but I feel like I was sick because there was something that I needed to do, and that was just to reflect on this whole year, all the challenges, all the things that the setbacks to create the comeback. And so when I saw the quote, I knew this quote was definitely something that I wanted to share with you guys, because it's part of the journey. Is I just felt like I was just going to be a basketball player my whole entire life. I was told I would be a speaker, and I was like, I'm not a speaker. I'm not a coach. I've always thought of myself as possibly a teacher, but I just felt like didn't have the time. And so, one of the biggest things that came with my story is that people want a part of the story, but a lot of people want to have to tell the story their way, and not. And so, I've had a couple of things that's happened over the last couple of weeks where I just fell out of alignment. So I think that's what this quote was more for me, was about alignment, um, of how the story was going to be told, and how I backed away from a couple of sponsor deals just because I just did not feel in line with it. And so I think this beautiful story, this lesson that I'm supposed to teach people, facilitate, because there was a lot of lessons, and I really hope that other people wouldn't have to go through the type of pain, the type of grief that I had to go through to learn those lessons. And so that's why I'm working on the books that I am, and I'm on the podcast and stuff like that talking about it. But I just wanted to share that, is that you sometimes have to tell people no, and sometimes that no is that direction, get you on alignment with the type of situation that is the best for especially for me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I appreciate your love and the compassion, and um, it's been a wonderful journey the last year, but I'm ready to actually like start looking forward to the things that are coming my way, and just getting in alignment with the things that I feel like is going to be best suited for me and for the story.
And we all have a story to tell. Although you've heard me say that none of us have an original story. What makes our story original? It's the people, your location, and the actions that follow, which lines up directly with this quote. But also, Brother Dwayne, remember this: you are only as strong, and I'll say this to everyone: you are only as strong as your last no. Sometimes you have to walk away from things that you want to say yes to because 2 hours from the time you make the decision, you're going to wish you said no. And sometimes saying no to someone that's not willing to do the work or put in the work is probably the best thing you've ever done for someone. And the fact that you are creating your own story, Dwayne, and not letting someone else control the narrative, that's a beautiful thing. And I will say that. Now, the hard part about this is that when I transfer over to Lois, with that beautiful Jamaican accent, she's going to tell us how this quote lands on her. Lois, how does this quote? I'm going to ask Otis to give us the quote one more time. I'll probably ask two more times. I love this man's voice.
I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination.
Lois, all the way from Jamaica to all of a sudden in New York, upstate New York. How's this quote land on you?
Yeah, DP and DM. My eyes are sweating. My eyes are sweating. But the optimist would curse the wind. The pessimist would curse the wind. The optimist will hope that the wind will change. But the realist adjust the sail. And that's what I see that both of you have done. And it's beautiful. What we have control over is how we react to it, what happens in our lives. And both of you have taken your situations and just work with it to make it work for you. And it's beautiful. So Muhammad went to the mountain. He didn't wait for the mountain to come to him. And as big as our issues, problems, whatever are, we can do it. And just to let you guys know that we are here for you. This team is here for you, and we love you both, and we feel your stories.
We are all born into the families, but what makes things beautiful is we connect and invite other people to be part of this family. Choosing to be loved by someone that's loving you without judging you is a beautiful thing. And I thank you for sharing your heartfelt words, not only with DP and Dwayne, but with the team itself, the family. And so this is a young brother. Oh, I miss this young man. He's got so much energy, Mr. Manuel, that's come back. He is, again, like I said, beautiful young man, intelligent young man, fun to be around. He is just great. Now he's blushing. Look at that. And people say that brown people can't blush. Look at that. I see that. Manuel, how does this quote land on you, young brother? Let's get you to unmute. All right, here we go. Here we counting down. Is that he got it?
Hi everyone, Happy New Year, I think, right? Are we doing?
Happy New Year.
I haven't seen you guys in very long. I feel like we've gone through like a decade of change in the past 3 months or so. I hope you guys are doing good. And I think I have an idea of why Els I needed to get on this call. The quote obviously is, I mean, for me, I could probably write you a book right now, just in the last 3 months about that quote, I guess. Yeah, the wind, you're never in control of the winds. And I think I don't know, the lesson for me is really like the last however a decade or so, like thinking that the wind was one way and realizing that it was a completely different way. And I think a lot of us perhaps in America are seeing that because I didn't see this coming. I mean, I saw it coming, but I didn't think it was gonna be that abrupt, right? And so I think for me it's jarring, and acknowledging how, and the quote just makes me acknowledge how jarring it is, right? I think yeah, I don't know how to even, I don't, there's too much to say for me, really. It really resonates a lot. There's so much to say. I just really hope you guys are really doing well, and you guys are, handling these changes, because like I just I don't know. I wish things were a lot different than they are right now, and I pray that like we all have like as much resilience as possible. I think for me, and like especially like some of the hopes that I had for the States, obviously you're gonna have to take a new path towards hopefully a destination that is hopefully what we had hoped for. So so it's been a very sharp learning curve for me the past like 3, 4 months, to be honest, and I'm starting to get back my resilience at the level again. And I just hope everyone else, I hope you guys are just doing good, because it's been kind of stressful just seeing all of this happen in the States. So that's all. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate um, your words, your kindness, your commitment to change, your energy. We're all energy, and I'm talking about this young brother vibrates at such a high level. It's almost impossible to stand in his presence and not to be in awe. He is such a wonderful human being, and he even grew a beard trying to look like a grown up. Look at
I
that.
I
um,
know
um, you've been
I
missed. You've been missed. We love you. I know you know that. And these times are challenging, but big thing is you always got to remember if you look at history itself, everything comes back to the people. Everything comes back to the people. So when the people come together, things change. And Miss Tara Elizabeth, we're going to see how this quote lands on you, all the way from the West Coast, joining us this morning. And the other thing is, I want to thank everyone. I don't know how many years this podcast is going to lay there on our RMK production and network on our YouTube page. But we just had to push our clocks forward, so everyone else got up an extra hour early. So when you're on West Coast time and Stan's over there in Texas, I much appreciate you for getting up. So Tara, how's this quote land on you?
Good morning, everyone. I apologize for my tardiness. We had a power outage. So
Mm,
when I jumped on is when the electricity came right back on. The quote landed on me. It really made me think about when I was in my early 20s and I got married. I was still in college and there was fight in me. I had to transfer universities, and being young and not really knowing a lot about how the administrative side of college worked, I thought, well, I'm going to transfer and I have all of these credits. And I literally only needed, like, I think a semester to graduate. And I thought I'll transfer and another college will take all of these credits and I'll just have to do a semester with them. No college would let me do that. And in my ignorance, my immaturity, I said, well, fine, I just won't go. Well, who did that hurt? It hurt me. It took me 7 years to knuckle down and go back to school because I was fighting against what was happening instead of adjusting my sales and doing what I needed to do to live the life I wanted to live. So it took me 7 years to go back to school. But once I went back with a vengeance. I finished 2 undergrads and 3 masters in probably less than 4 years. So I have learned now when things don't go or I can't control things to sometimes just adjust. It's for my benefit. Those 7 years of me being young and stupid and immature, I had a lot of great jobs, but couldn't get promoted because I didn't bother to get the degree because I was thinking, I know enough. I can do it. They should give me the promotion. And I was literally training the people who were going to be my bosses. And I said, oh, this is not who I am. And that's finally what made me adjust my sales and finish my degree. So that's really how the quote landed on me.
Believe it or not, if you want the outcome to be a certain way, you have to direct yourselves for that outcome. That's a beautiful thing. I'm so glad that you finished your degree. I'm so glad you have positioned yourself in this world to make a difference. You have been a great mom, a great grandma. You have been a super daughter, taking care of your mom. I know all your secrets. I'm just putting all your stuff out there. And the only reason I'm putting it out there because right now, it's amazing the way that, a lot of us carry around the match and we surround ourselves with people that are gasoline, but no one brings up the heat in the room better than Dr. Breakthrough when he comes in here. My brother Stan got a fresh haircut. I got to find out who the barber is because Otis came in here clean too. All right. How's this quote land on you, Stan?
Hey, breakthrough rising to everybody. I say peace, breakthrough, and divine increase. A special belated happy International Women's Day, which was yesterday. And when I said to my beautiful wife, my ABCD, my adorable brown caramel delight, I said, Happy International Women's Day, Nadia. And she said, Baby, thank you, but every day is Women's Day. I was like, come on now, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so the quote landed in my head mixing with several other quotes, but the main message obviously is to understand there's some like one of my quotes is, optimism always creates opportunities for those who remain optimistic. Say it again. So optimism always creates opportunities for those that remain optimistic in spite of pessimistic situations. And so, again, if the wind is blowing, again, you have a certain destination. Again, you just have to adjust your sails because there's some things that are contributing factors and there's other things that are determining factors, and you can't get those two twisted. And so, when my breakthrough training, I teach people, pardon me, one of the greatest reasons why many people never have a breakthrough is because they focus too much on what they want to break through. See, what you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. In order to have a breakthrough, you literally have to focus on what you want to break to. That's that destination we're talking about in our quote. So when you focus on what you want to break to, then you automatically break through. And so when I do my martial arts demonstration, I stack up 22 inches of bricks, whether I put them on fire. The bricks, my focus is not breaking the bricks. There's a few times when it didn't break. You know why? Because I focused on breaking the bricks. And when I focused on breaking the bricks became bigger to me. But when I focus on putting my hand 3 inches below the bricks, and instead of trying to break the bricks or focus on breaking through the bricks, I just focus on breaking my hand 3 inches below. Then automatically, when I break to that spot, I break through anything that's in his way. And I've been blessed to teach more people how to break a board or brick than any man alive. And that's one of the main secrets I teach them is to focus on going through. And so if we stay focused on our destination, then in spite of, oh, I had it prepared to go this way or this way, and that changed now, doesn't matter. I'm going to use what I have at my disposal to reach my destination. And so I close with this. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you refuse to turn. Well, I may have to have an extra couple turns in there, but I will reach my destination. God bless you.
God bless you. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to predict the future. I could see this coming this time next year, probably in April, that we're going to be on one of those ships and one of those cruises, and we're going to have to surprise. Well, we may not bring any bricks on there, but we'll bring some wooden boards in there, and we see how many people of the team are going to be able to break through.
Oh, everybody will, bro. I've taught
All right.
everything from a 8-year-old boy, 4-year-old boy, my son, without his mom being around, obviously, to an 86-year-old man without any injury.
All right. All right. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, be prepared to see this team. Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends, breaking breaks with Dr. Breakthrough. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to a lady that's not only doing something great here in this country, but she's also helping our veterans here in America by way of creativity, art, but she's also opened the doors for opportunity in from the motherland, a long ways away. So Mazan, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Ask Otis to deliver this quote again because I don't want anyone to forget because we've had so many amazing shares. I just want to make sure the listeners can write this down and they hear the quote and not be distracted from their own thoughts as we share ours. Otis, can you, if you don't mind?
I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination.
Always reach your destination. Mazan, how does this quote land on you?
So it landed personally as well, but I did write something down. So, what I have in life, there is no certainties. You have to go with the flow and not fight what is in store for you, even if it means adjusting your sails according to the quote. Personally, for me, one of the things at 41, I had a mini stroke, and I feel with DP, I've had a fertility problem. So I've won my daughter, finally had her. She was 5. Now she's going to be 17. And there I am with a mini stroke. And I'm thinking this ship has just sunk. God's put me in a terrible position. In the hospital, turns out God had a better plan for me. It's to realize I had a brain aneurysm, very small one, but I have a brain aneurysm. I'm sorry. And having that, I had to adjust my sails and realize in life, it's not, things are coming to a full stop. It's a temporary, boat is just there, temporary, hanging in the water. I adjusted a sail. Okay, now I know my situation. God has made it clear. I never knew I had that. It's there. I adjusted. What do I need to do? I have my daughter. That's the most important thing in my life. Adjusting means taking the stress out, do whatever it had to be. So personally in my life, it's when something is thrown your way, just look at it from all angles and just say, oh, it's here for a reason. There is a reason. God has a bigger plan. There's a reason it's there. Take a moment, feel the pain of whatever it is that's tossed your way, and just wait, think about it, give yourself a week or how long, and think about how do I just clear my path? What do I do now? What's the next step? To connect this with what I tell my students as an educator, they paint, they create. They always want to say, oh, I need an eraser. Oh, I want to paint over. And I always say to them, no, that came from you. It's your creation. Just go with it. Just keep adding to it. Don't erase. Don't. We all have things that occur to us. We all make mistakes. Things are tossed our way. We just have to learn how to have a team will be great, but whoever we have or what we have ourselves on how to use what we have to make our sails blow the wind, like how Otis has the Viking ship. That's the perfect example. We're all on that ship. We're all there and we're blowing and we're going to where we need on our destination. So for me personally, this meant medically, it did not stop me. I just needed to adjust, think about what I had to do. And that was 41. I'm 52. I'll be 53 next month. And I'm still going and grateful that God has put that blockage in my way to let me know how to adjust and to move on. So that's my interpretation.
And that was a beautiful take on the quote. And the one thing that's consistent, at least with everyone on this um, panel, one is that strong commitment to faith. I think that's one of the things that we have been distracted from, and I think that's the reason why the wind is blowing in the direction it's blowing right now. Is because we have as a community has not gotten together and trusted that God's got us the way you guys have me. We have not surrounded ourselves with people that have great vision. We're more in tune to our distractions than what our purpose or discovering what our true purpose is. And so I appreciate the share. I appreciate what you do. We appreciate your giving back and helping our veterans. And I'll say this to our listeners, she's in a position where she's going to need some help. She needs art supplies for her veterans and campuses and so forth. So if you're in a position, I know on my other podcast that we have a lot of people to help. I've never asked anyone to do that, but contact us. And, if you have extra art supplies or so forth, you can donate. These go to our veterans. So we have an entrepreneur on here. We have a public speaker. We have a young man that is all about, the breweries coming up. He is doing great things. I mean, matter of fact, if you Google any of the people on this show, you'll find out these people are doing so much more than just showing up here talking about a quote. They're giving back. My grandfather always said, when you get to a place that you can help someone, he said it's your duty to do so. These people are doing it without asking. All right. So when you talk about which way the wind blows, I'm going to tell you, follow their cell because they are going to a beautiful destination. How are you doing, Mr. Kurt Battles?
Happy Sunday to all. It's always a joy to be with this group and to share our visions for how an amazing future can be. So, this quote landed on me thinking about I have to think big about what my destination is. And the bigger I think and the larger my vision, the greater the challenge may be along the way. And what that means is sometimes the wind blows and it feels like you're just creeping along in your boat. And sometimes the wind is blowing so hard, you're trying to stay from being tossed overboard in the midst of what's going on. There can be big waves, there can be little waves. You're trying to just ride on the top of it as you are headed to, as Dr. Breakthrough would say, that next place through the bricks to the bottom, not just getting and seeing the bricks in front of you. And it's being able to actually see that you can get to that greater place rather than seeing all the impediments in your way, that especially in the world of entrepreneurship, because it's about failing forward fast. You want to do whatever it is that you need to do today so that you can regroup and do the next thing tomorrow. You may not be the best sailor when you start, but boy, as that trip goes on, you get better and better and better along the way. So this really tells me I need to keep pushing through, just as I've heard the stories of a couple of our sisters with their kids and trying to figure it out, and things have come to them over time that they may not have expected, but they have been able to tack into the wind and tack away from the wind. And so I think it's just about keeping your sights on what is possible and what you want to have happen versus having people tell you you can't do it.
Mhm. Yes, yes, and don't listen to the outside noise. If someone's not playing your song, tune out. All right. If someone doesn't understand the words to your story, all right, share your story. Make them pay attention. But remember this: none of us are where we want to be in life, but we're where we need to be until we get to where we want to be, and we will get to it as long as we are persistent. And there are going to be hard times. There are going to be a lot of good times. But I'm going to say, when you have your good times, give yourself a parade. And I'm going to tell you, there's no two people that celebrate good times better than the two people we have on here. I talk about, people that are naturally a good fit for each other, people that are supposed to be together, that are born inseparable, and they find each other. I mean, matter of fact, that my next guest I'm going to introduce, she had to board a ship and go through a lot of sailors to get her man. Her man stands about 6 foot plus and beautiful in that uniform. He's a naval veteran, but I'm going to tell you, all right, the reason why the Titanic is sitting at the bottom of the ocean because it stood in her way of her man. Gilda, how does this quote land on you? Here we go. How's that quote land on you, Gilda?
Great rising, everyone. Although I can't change the wind,
Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought there were some more.
okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Although I can't change the wind directions, I can adjust my strategy.
Okay.
So that's how it landed on me.
So just
right. You see that?
Strategy.
You,
Yeah,
you have
I had
to,
to think about it. Yeah, I had to
yeah,
think.
adjust and shift. All right.
That's right.
Christopher, I know that's gonna be a hard act to follow. Okay. And especially after knowing that, you know, some of your what do you call them when on the crew and they're your seamates that she walked through about how many people on a boat? About a couple hundred, a couple thousand on one ship, and she
Yep.
picked you. She picked you. All right. No wind stood in her way. I mean, matter of fact, you're talking about when a storm is coming, when Gilda walks into the room, I'm going to tell you the ground shakes, Dr. Earthquake, Dr. Breakthrough becomes Dr. Earthquake. You know, we stand along the sideline just waiting to see what's going to happen. So, how's this quote land on you, Chris?
Oh man. Well, first, I'm surprised you didn't ask a sailor to answer that question first. I mean, like we live with the opposition of the wind. I mean, like we the first thing we mastered was the wind. Sailors have been doing this for eons. I mean, just generation to generation. And I had my sailor answer all ready to go, and you went the other way. That's okay. That's
Hey, Chris, I just want to tell you the reason why I didn't say anything about being on a boat for two reasons. I know how we got here, and I don't swim.
Well, I spent a great deal of my life on the ocean. It's funny though. In those 26 years, I never really rode a sailboat, but I rode a submarine, and submarines are pronounced with their large black sail. So I guess I've been a sailor. But you said something earlier about how Gilda decided to pick me. I've got a really short story. Early on in my career, I was in submarine school, and I was a student, and I was in charge of a class of about 25 other sailors. There was a graduation going on, and who knew Gilda was in the audience? Her mother and her sister were in the audience. My class all went to the windows, as they always do for graduations, to see who was out there. And so when I noticed that, I shouted, probably in a loud voice, loud enough to be heard downstairs at the graduation, for them all to return to their seats. Later, I hear that Gilda's mother heard that and said, "Who is up there doing all that shouting?"
Hmm.
And Gilda knew, and she brought that story back to me. Says, "Yeah, I was impressed by that one day." But anyway, moving ahead. When you presented that quote in a Jeopardy kind of world, the answer would be, "What is tacking?" But it's exactly what happens. You're faced with a headwind. You want to go in that direction. The wind's saying no, go in this direction. You simply tack, and that's been my guiding light for my entire naval career. They use the term snafu, where you throw your hands up and say you just can't do it. The way I see it, that's simply situation normal. Okay, you've got a headwind, you've got to get over there. You get there. You tack your ship, you tack your boat, you tack your life. As Gilda says, you change your strategy to get to where you want to go. So, you put the sailor last. All right, I can live with that. But that is the way that I've always seen my life. Headwinds be damned. I want to go that way, so I'm going to go.
All right, we're going to attack it. And just to let you guys know, no matter what order that we've gone on this show, every single share that's on here, you have gone first. All right. Last is just being a witness to what you weren't willing to do to be first. So I don't like last. And plus, I don't know how tall Stan is, but I've been around everyone else. You stand taller than all of us. Matter of fact, I just realized I got the wrong background for my show today. All right, I got to fix that somehow. But while I'm adjusting, I'm gonna go to my little sister, Miss Larnez, and I mean, Otis, you know something? I love you. It is so hard to follow Larnez, but I know if she had went first, none of us would have got a chance to talk. this show would have been over with, we'd have all been, going, wow. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let Otis deliver the quote one last time before he gives his share, but we're going to go to Larnaz. I want you to sit back. I want you to put back up your tray table. I want you to bring your seat up to the upright position. I want you to buckle your seatbelt. We're about 20 minutes before we are to land this plane, but I want to go ahead and give you the in-flight movie. It's an Oscar-winning story. It's a Grammy-winning song. It's a Tony when you watch the show from the front row. Larnez, how's this quote? Wait a minute, let me go back. Otis, you give it to me before I set Larnez up.
Absolutely. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination.
All right, Larnez, I'm strapped in. All right, here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Turbulence, 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 smooth sailing, Larnez, fire away.
Well, blissful rising. And I don't mind being last because the last person makes sure we don't leave nothing behind. You got to clean up, you got to close the door, and make sure everybody's
Dr. Breakthrough.
So, how this hit me, a lot of people go through life and they think it's going to be easy, that success, love, and happiness would just land in their lap. But life will hit you, shake you, test you in ways that you never saw coming. And if you're out here waiting for the perfect time, guess what? You're already behind. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your damn sail. That's the difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck. Some of you would rather sink than change. You sit at that same dead end situation, making excuses while everyone else around you is out here pushing through, riding the highs, surviving the lows, but moving. And I gotta be real. If I was a heart, I wouldn't want to be a steady beat. You know what that means? That means you're dead. No movement, no life, no purpose. And that's exactly what happens when you stay in the same place, afraid to take risks, scared to fail. So the truth is, you either adjust or you get left behind. You either fight through the storm or you drown in it. But what you cannot do is sit still, waiting, hoping life will get easier. So you have to decide what it's going to be. Are you sailing or are you sinking? And that's how this hit me. I also want to say, DP, let me tell you something. I exchanged these roles, sister, mother, daughter, friend, with all the people, all the women, all the young men that are around me. So in society, they say you have to actually have a child to raise one, but you do not. And I'm going to end like that.
Ooh. Otis?
Amen.
I'm going to sneak off the stage while you pick up the mic because the mic is hot. That is hot. Hey, I'm going to tell you, Larnez, I don't see many of us doing TEDx speaks. So thank you for doing the first KevX speak. That was beautiful. That was powerful. Otis, good luck. I'm praying for you, brother. Okay. Don't say anything stupid. Otis, give us a quote one more time and let's hear your take.
Sure. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. And like the wind, my mind goes into two separate directions. If the wind is not blowing in your direction or your path, you pull out the oars because you don't want to let anything stand in your way. Because if you need help, don't be afraid to ask because there's strength in numbers. However, if that wind is blowing so hard, it might be God telling you, don't go. Because it might be the plane that you missed that crashed or the boat that you would have gotten on that sunk. Listen to your gut. And that's how it landed on me.
All right. wonderful quote. A dozen wonderful shares from a dozen amazing and giving and kind people that came on the show today. I want to say to the family of Mr. Dwayne Wiggins from Tony that he went home. He was called home this past Friday. Condolences to and much love to the family. Coming back to the show, this quote gave me, I thought about it a little bit. You can't change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust the sail to reach your destination. This, for me, is a very powerful quote that emphasizes one's adaptability and resilience to face life uncontrollable circumstances. While we cannot control the direction of the wind, nor should we try to control any of the external forces, we can control our responses to those. We're always adjusting and shifting to something, to trying to get to where we need to be, and that's ourselves. From the day that we were born until the day we leave this life, we're all navigating through this life, adapting, or some of us are just surviving. Everyone's path, even on this show, is different, even though we come together every Sunday. Life is good. We have to be clear. You have to set a vision to know what you want and know how to get there and be willing to connect the dots in order to get to where you want to be. You have to defend your purpose. You have to respect someone if they differ from what you believe. But when you're faced with many of life's adversities, the truth of this quote is resilience and adaptability. While there always will be things that you cannot control and you cannot change, you can control one thing: your actions. You are the beginning and you are the end of everything that you are going to face in this lifetime. I wish I can rhyme like Dr. Breakthrough, but this is how the quote landed for me. And hopefully something that was dropped on this stage will land on you. Talk to me, Dr. Breakthrough. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank everyone for coming on this show. I want to thank DP for bringing this share. Congratulations on inviting a new life into your life. All right, I'm going to say this: be patient, don't mess it up. All right, because that's our future. But have, something, just have fun. The one beautiful thing about being with all of you guys, one thing about having kids is that it becomes challenging, but remember to have fun. Make those experiences mean something, because that's all we got. We're born with a date, and right now we're all that living dash. Just make sure that, when someone tells your story, they're smiling while they're sharing your story. So again, we meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like what you've heard, go to our YouTube page at RMK Productions. And if you want to come on the show, there's a link. You come on here. As long as you bring something positive, you are more than welcome. I'm going to say, after listening to this quote, I'm going to bring in my hashtag to say, find 1,000 reasons to be kind to someone, because right now we need that. My grandfather used to always tell me, all right, when you get to a place in life that you can help someone else out, he said it's your duty to do so. And that's when I say, he said, reach one, teach one, we do what?
Fade to black.
Make sure you come back.
And we're out, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week. All right.